All right, good afternoon. Today is February the 7th, which is Tuesday at 1 p.m. sharp. I suppose I ate lunch, but I haven't. But I ate egg McMuffin basically, so that should be enough. The topic of today is the capturing all the balloon materials that was shot up in the air by the F-35 super stealth jet fighters, and it hit precisely without error, and it dropped the balloon at the safest place, which is coastal line, not on top of people's houses, not on top of infrastructures, because we never know what's inside the balloon, or the most American call it the payloads. They're not sure about the payload. Might be bomb, might be explosive, might be very heavy because it's the size of two buses, school bus, yellow school bus, or a regular people buses all over the world. It's two of them, so the diameter is kind of huge, and luckily there's no explosive, but they don't take a chance, so they didn't do it when it was on top of Montana. um, Joe Biden instruct the Air Force to shoot them down on Wednesday, but they counsel him that it might be hazardous for people and infrastructures, because then there's gonna be liability, which is avoidable and unnecessary. So they come into an agreement to let it drop on the coastline of South Carolina, right here. These are the Navy that salvage all the debris. It looks shredded of the materials, or fabrics. This fabric material that's shredded. I guess that's from the jet fighters hitting it with missiles. Anyway, they capture everything inside. We know what's inside. If it's telecommunication, if it's surveillance, because we all know Chinese love to surveil. They love to learn, to study data. But we are overreacted. As we seen right here, it seems nothing in there, and it's really is nothing. We all know the satellite telecommunication speed is very low, from 3 megabyte all the way to 60, I guess, maximum, if you got the right location straight up, and then if you got the right weather. So it might be fast, but most of the time you will get frustrated in communicating through satellite, or the satellite phone. It works the same like Starlink or anything like that, which is super super low downloading and uploading. To upload is like heavier. It could be 2 kilobyte or 2 megabyte, then 2 megabyte. and to download might be bit faster double, you know, but you get frustrated and you get mad when you do data on a satellite. So Wi-Fi and fiber optic will get faster, could go to as high as gigabyte, or from 3G, 4G, 5Gs. So there you go. We were all overreacted with the balloon surveillance data. Well, this is start with the Chinese that surveil everybody all over the world. They're hungry for data, and what they gonna do? So it is. It's been predicted by Department of the Defense in 2021 about China military power report, how advances in AI and emerging technologies will shape China military. The DoD report is about how they analyze or conclude whatever the Chinese want to do with their advanced technology and military. But it's just a word, bunch of empty words, because military advance is some kind of a myriad, or some kind of a not really happening yet. So this is jargon, this is talk, you know, because China is leveraging emerging technologies such as autonomous system, quantum cyber, and more. What they need is to challenge the U.S. interest in the Indo-Pacific. That's the latest DoD report on Chinese military power, explain what the PLA is doing. PLA means People Liberation Army. So they think the army is liberating people, which actually they're not. We can't see from Tiananmen footage the PLA or the military of China, they crushing on people, not liberating. So it is wrong name for wrong reason. Basically, it's alternative fact or propaganda means. So in 2021, the DoD of the United States, on their report on Chinese military power, the report demonstrates the growing challenge that Chinese poses to U.S. interest in the Indo-Pacific and beyond. China's growing nuclear arsenal has received most of the media attention. Really, not really. This is just the DoD report. So that really represents the fact. Well, the report is 2021, now 2023. So it was a theory that we have to verify in 2023. We have to prove it right or wrong, but it seems so wrong. Underneath the headlines, though, is an approach whereby China seeks to leverage emerging technologies and innovative operational concepts for both conventional and strategic operations to become a leading military through an approach described as intelligentized warfare. Wow, what a name. But mostly poop poop. According to the false report, like I said, China seeks to dominate technologies associated with the fourth industrial revolution. Because it will help China become a world-class military. Wow, such an idealist. How could it be world-class military? We know how military or government function, right? This is a burden. They're not gonna be a world class. It's gonna be a world class burden to the funding, a burden to the people itself, and burden to the whole nation. The reason why it's burden to the whole nation is that it carries so much weight. They have to bear in mind that they want the military to be number one, which is not possible. So it's a burden. So there they outline the critical aspect of China military modernization effort referenced in the report, focusing particularly on development related to defense innovation and emerging technologies. Wow, such a slogan. So the DoD report right here seems so overwhelmingly overreacted and overvalue the Chinese military. China connect emerging technology leadership to military capabilities. That's another topic that is deniable. Let's prove it some more that is wrong. China believes that emerging technologies will shape and increase the spread of warfare. We know emerging technologies will shape and increase the speed not of warfare but world peace. Because with the technologies communities, they love peace, they don't love war. They love game, they don't really like a real war. They like a war game, not a real war. So they said again, explain, meaning future military success will require forces that are mechanized, informatized, and intelligentized. So many nice. Why nice? Although they're not really nice. The term intelligentized describes the PRC, People Republic of China, concept of future warfare based on emerging and disruptive technologies, particularly AI. Now, this DoD report does not question about the burden, the bureaucrat, there's so much burden from the government, because government is always be burdened. How could they move beyond burden and becoming inventors and to be advanced in technology? So it seems not possible. This include intelligent technology system and operational concepts such as attrition warfare by intelligent swarms, cross-domain mobile warfare, AI-based space confrontation, and cognitive control operation that facilitate information processing and decision making on the battlefield. Oh wow. We've seen battlefield between China against India. There's no technology in the battlefield. It's just using stick, no carrot, just the stick. Not even a carrot. They hit each other between India border patrols and Chinese border patrol. They're hitting each other. Some of them died, some of them injured, some of them bruises. But it was just a scuffle, not a technology warfare. There's no such a thing. So that was just a dream, an illusion or delusion from the Chinese military and the DoD that want to believe in it. China is also Again, according to the report, China is also updating its doctrine and war fighting plans to incorporate these capabilities, capabilities that they apply in the China-India border fighting. They don't apply anything. China Academy or military science. Wow, that's even more amazing name. Academy of Military Science. So suppose they invent stuff, right? They don't. They don't invent stuff. They're not science. They're just bureaucrat. They're just military to do push up, to run away, to do jogging, and basic training. That's all they do. They're not inventing stuff. They're not doing science. According to the report, the science has a mandate to ensure the PLA war fighting theory. PLA means People Liberation Army. They're not liberating people either. PLA war fighting theory. What a name. And doctrine fully capitalize on disruptive technologies. Wow, far away. Bureaucrat doing technologies. Again, not working. Like AI and autonomous system. they might like AI and or autonomous system, but they just don't know how. So compared to the US, they have a research that is paid by the government, that has incentive and it has industrial benefit, like monetary benefit. But if it's a government itself doing it, they're not doing any benefit. They're not even see any benefit. They're not gonna be any innovative come out of, okay, I pay you every month and please invent stuff. Not gonna happen. Though an emphasis on emerging technologies, China seeks to become a global innovation superpower. Ooh, wow. Global innovative superpower. What is this DOD report? Who's the guy at DOD that make this report? It is bonkers. There's no such a thing, global innovative superpower. Again, like I said, the government thingy, government stuff, a bureaucrat, they're not incentivized. So how do they have innovation? So how do they have a global innovation superpower? Global means the whole world, not only China. Come on, DOD, you better make a better report than this. Or maybe because this is Department of Defense. Again, government making another government report. So bureaucrat making another bureaucrat report. So, wow. They said these intelligence capabilities are directly related to China's potential pursuit of its strategic interest, namely capturing Taiwan, while details in the report are limited. It states in 2020, the Chinese Communist Party announced a new milestone for PLA modernization in 2027, broadly understood as the modernization of the PLA capabilities to be networked into a system for intelligence warfare. Wow, complicated technological word that means nothing. If realized, the PLA 2027 modernization goal could provide Beijing with more credible military option in Taiwan contingency. Okay, this is in 2021, the report about Taiwan, and let's validate with 2023 or 2022 when they have a problem with Taiwan. What happened? Does any of this apply? Does this technology apply and work? Or this big failure and just bonkers, doesn't mean anything, doesn't do anything. We remember the Taiwan conflict with China in 2022 end, like around December, November, or it was started from August when it was warm up by Nancy Pelosi visit. It's such a chaos, but it's a nothing chaos either. There was no injury, there's no death, there's no nothing like that. Nancy Pelosi came there, landed the plane, and took off again in very safe manner. Well, of course, because the U.S. safeguarding it, and China don't have a gut to start it, because it will be very bad against the U.S. military. We can talk about technology, military when they try to attack American military, which is full of technology, which is still mediocre, not like really, really good technology yet. Because, like I said, it's government bureaucrats, it's a burden, it's not real advance, not real innovation. So this finding about China surveillance and conquering and capturing and gaining a momentum against Taiwan, it's false in this DOD report because we can validate with the 2023 progress right now. It's all means nothing. So again, let's go back to this China's strategy for achieving defense technology leadership. China mechanism for achieving defense technology leadership, according to the report, remains civil-military fusion. Wow, with the fusion too, man. This is China's attempt to link technology advances in the private sectors with its military-industrial base. Well, let's think about the private sectors that are doing innovation in China. How many of them? Most of them are copycat. They hack American blueprint, and then they made it home in China, and there goes China technology. So, as we all know and aware, Chinese is not a democratic country. There's no freedom, there's no innovation, there's no creativity because they have to be in line with the PLA or People's Republic of China, all the Communist Party, so everything has to be in line with them, which is run by old people. Old people don't want to change, old people don't learn anything, old people doesn't do technology. So, compared to the US, the technology is spearheaded by young people, by new entrepreneurs, and a lot of newcomers, a lot of innovation that is pushed by the government, but the government doesn't involve at all. They only involve in funding, and it's incentivized. Incentivized. That means they will do it. But in China, like Jack Ma, the Alibaba CEO, was jailed for 3 months and school for ideology in ideology class to make him not creative, to make him to follow the propaganda. So there you go. How could China be incentivized for making innovation or intelligence? So both US and, it says in the report, both US and China officials have argued that the key technology that will shape the future of the warfare, including artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum, and biotechnology, are fundamentally dual use or general purpose. The private sector is driving innovation around the world. For China, the connection between The private and public sectors will help determine future technological leadership. As the report described, under Beijing MCF strategy, the PLA MCF here mean like maybe CMF. Uh, yeah, it's MCF or CMF. CMF means civil military fusion, or MCF military civil fusion, because you know the language in China and the US is explanation at the front and then the subject on the right, on the reverse, like Spanish and American language. They're like that, they're reverse. So MCF could be CMF. So DOD report, we are not consistent. If they want to do CMF, why all of a sudden MCF? So this DOD report is flawed. The PLA seeks to exploit China private sector's achievement to further its force modernization plan. The report also discussed the Chinese technology leadership initiative, such as foreign direct investment to acquire technology talent recruitment, academic collaboration for research and development, and illicit acquisition through espionage. There you go. They do espionage. There's a lot of reason for Chinese and Russian to do espionage in the US, so they can snatch some blueprint, so they can develop in their countries whatever they could hack from the research organization in the US. That way, whatever the raw data that first the intellectual, when they do some research with the formula and then to develop it here to prove it, and it become classified afterward. But before that, it's just a theory to find something, a tendency of a formula. They could hack it, or it's widely available in the net with the Google search engine. So then the race began when they stole the blueprint through espionage, and they developed the formula to make it real, and the US have to do the funding, the US have to do more research and develop, because it's first-hand initial finding. It has more down-to-earth basics to the logical way of thinking, and they can make it like fruitful instead of Chinese might develop it in the wrong way, and then they keep failing it, and they have to keep constantly checking with whatever the US have done, and then they can make such integration, and then like leveling the formula or the end products. Okay, China priority areas for defense investment in emerging technologies. The report highlight specific emerging technology that China is actively pursuing and illustrate their potential military applicants as the graphic. They have a graphic that telling that AI and advanced robotic in one part, and then semiconductors and advanced computing the other part, quantum technology is another part, biotechnology another part, hypersonic and direct energy weapon another part, and the last part is advanced materials, alternative energy. Wow, sounds like AI. But that was just talking. But that was just what the China wants. But how to achieve it? What's their plan to do that? And can we verify what they did? Unverifiable. Sorry to say, means total failures. Furthermore, it says in the report, within the AI and advanced robotic and area highlight in the graphic, An ongoing question is where and how humiliate will use machine learning. The report outlines Chinese investment in machine learning for areas including tactical and strategic decision supports and AI-enabled war gaming. Wow, sounds like a game, computer game. Kids can do this. Yeah, the AI and all that try to be developed by flooding TSMC with lots of funding, but to uh, to create microchips in China, but seems not advanced enough. The report also described continuing Chinese investment in autonomous air, ground, and naval systems, some with limited AI capabilities and use of AI for social media analysis and propaganda. See, come back again. All Marxist, communist, Chinese, Russian, they like propaganda so much. Every little thing has to be with propaganda. How could a country survive innovation with propaganda? Can you do innovation propaganda? It's a legitimate question that the answer is a no. In innovation in scientific and technology, you have to come up with facts. You cannot do propaganda. If you do propaganda too much, every little propaganda, even dreaming is a propaganda. How would that gonna stand? The report also lays out basic and applied research priorities for China in the military AI space moving forward, such as brain-inspired software and hardware, human machine learning, swarming, and decision making. They can even decide for themselves because it has to be in line with the Communist Party or Marxist element of China, or we see in Russia like that too. How could it be advanced in that subject? Again, they need democracy, they need innovation, they need a real creative people that might, that or not might, that always be argue with the establishment because it's creative. So anything creative will argue or will not in line with the establishment because it's always thinking outside of the box. They cannot use the box, man. So if they think using the box of propaganda, how could they think, man? Come on, Chinese people. Come on, Xi Jinping. Use outside of the box, Xi Jinping. Don't let Chinese just use your box. Because that's not gonna work. Putin not like that too. He likes to make all Russian to use one box to things. How could you be creative using a box to think? They already mentioned the name think outside of the box. It's called creativity. It's pretty simple. So China heavy research expenditure and is focused on technological independence and indigenous innovation through policies such as Made in China 2025 and China Standard 2035 has positioned the PRC at or near the lead on numerous scientific fields, worrying many in the United States. No, it's not worrying. The theory report is false. It's just too much overvalue the Chinese um, what's it called? Overvalue but indigenous innovation. Come on. But technological independence. They think with one box. They cannot be independent and technological. They have to depend on China Communist Party. The report emphasizes particular advancement China made in these domains in 2020, such as in allocation around $85 million AI research. It's planned to expand its 2,000 kilometers quantum secure communication ground line, connecting Beijing and Shanghai to other cities and to create global satellite enabled version by 2030. And the People Liberation Army Air Force initial fielding of the TF-70. TF-17 is a hypersonic glide vehicle that refer to the cyber elsewhere, so a more mature capability is already better integrated into the PLA. Again, PLA. So such an advance, but always drawback to the PLA, to the PRC. Not gonna work, man. So this DoD report is okay. Let's read some more on this DoD report. Potential pitfalls in China military development. This probably will synergize with what I said, what I think. Okay, let me read this. This report underscore how China is modernizing and advancing its military and how the current Chinese regime views defense technology and innovation leadership as a critical pillar supporting their effort to create world-class warfighting capabilities. There's no capabilities of warfighting or world-class because there's the similar class as India. When they have a border fight with India, they couldn't do nothing. Specifically, China directly views its ability to harness and leverage emerging and disruptive technologies like AI as decisive for its ability to achieve strategic goals such as taking Taiwan. Oh no, again. Such a strategic goals in taking Taiwan, and I think this is their daydreaming. The U.S. still stand in the way whenever they wanna take Taiwan, and not only the U.S. It's gonna be Japan, Korea, the Philippines. I don't know if the Philippines want to join, and there goes Indonesia. Indonesia usually don't wanna involve in anything. Indonesia always have ambiguity strategic. Never want to take part in anything. They're so passive. Philippines like that too. Malaysia like that. All the Asians they are ambigu. This report highlights that the DoD is aware of and concerned by this initiative, which appeared to be systematic, well-resourced. Really well-resourced? No, I don't think it's a well-resourced. What kind of resource do they have? Like this balloon, it doesn't have a 8K graphic. It doesn't have capabilities of fast download and upload. So, not well-resourced and clearly delineated. However, while the report referenced these technologies and how China plans to develop them, it lacks specific details on how the People Liberation Army will use technology breakthrough. They cannot use technology breakthrough because they cannot find any breakthrough. Questions also remain about China's ability to operate these capabilities in combination, such as simultaneous integration of emerging technologies and traditional operation will be organizationally challenging. Ooh, the audio always use all kind of technological bombastic word. I don't understand. It could be simplified the word they try to present here. So while Chinese military power continues to grow, there is uncertainty about what role emerging technology will play in the future conflict and when. No, there's no role in emerging technologies, and there's no play in the future's conflict, and there is no when. Uh, Chinese people are, Chinese party are is so funny. Uh, they run by old people, so in the future it's just a brute future conflict. It's not gonna be a smooth technological conflict. So yeah, keep on saying those for the report and not gonna do anything. Even the I read from the Yahoo analysis about the balloon that says, I think Eduardo Baptista is the one that wrote this. It says, as China and United States tussle over the Washington says was a Chinese surveillance balloon over U.S. territory, dozens of Chinese documents point to surging interest in using balloon technology for military purposes. Wow. It's kind of stupid, huh? For that kind of distance, I think 30 kilometers from the surface, it's too far out to capture any digital graphic of American war technology or nuclear silos or any infrastructures. The reason why it's way out of line is that everything is available on the internet. Why would you want to do it from the air? Even the capturing like this, capturing of the balloon by the US Navy right here. Can the satellite can get this image so clearly, how many people on board, and these guys are using light because it's kind of dark or cloudy, right? And the surface was dark green. The only light color is the balloon material or fabrics. So it seems impossible. Or it could be just some kind of pioneers wanna try an error about balloon. What if they send a balloon to the US? But definitely the US cannot send a peaceful balloon to China would definitely be shut down, and they will not care if it's gonna hit people over there because they don't value humanity as size here. So any intrusion from the US to China or any country, doesn't have to be the US, Japan or Vietnam or China, will shut it down without question. But when the US shut down China, they say, oh, it's peaceful, the US should not shut it down. So that's how the whole thing is propaganda and funny and weird and stupid. And I don't understand why the Western like to relay whatever they say. It's a pure propaganda about a peaceful balloon, which is not laughable. They should not air this. They should not make it into a news that what their answer is ridiculously funny. Again, on that report on Yahoo News, is that from Bautista, one paper published last April by Research and People Liberation Army Institute focused on special aircraft said that one of the useful military application of balloons was to test enemy air defense. So there you go. It's intrusion. But this balloon's been tried so many times. It started when we have a really, really weak president called Donald Trump. he tolerate the balloons like, oh, it was okay, it's just a balloon, it's just surveillance from the Chinese, so let it be, because Chinese been awarded him with um, so many award for like Ivanka Trump's clothing design in China. So it's like a trade-off. You let me do the intrusion, I will give a pass to your daughters. So it's trade-off basically. But not any Republican speak about it. They never talk about it because they don't talk bad about Trump at all. The balloon induced and mobilized the enemy air defense system, providing the condition for the implementation of electronic reconnaissance assessment of air defense system, early warning detection, and operational response capabilities, the researchers wrote. So they test us with this intrusion, what we're gonna do, you know. It's been so many times the intrusion was tolerated by the previous administration or Trump and all the Republican. They were okay when there were intrusion, but when there's Democratic um, executive or Biden is a Democratic president, they got intrusion, they have and they shut it down, they got mad because they want us to not let it slide. But when it's Trump, it's okay to when it's Trump or Republican, they welcome when it's slide when they just pass through this balloon with collective data and it's okay. But it has to be Republican, it has to be okay. But if it's Democrat, if they not let it pass, they shut it down, it's not okay for them. Sounds propaganda like Marxism, like communism. So Republican basically adopt the communism ideology somehow. Balloons are also used for scientific purposes such as weather monitoring, including by the likes of the China Meteorological Administration. Now, it's not possible that China is just use this for weather. Have you ever seen a weather report in China? Have you ever seen a weather report in the US? You click on a news, how many weather report in the US, how many none in China weather report. While the US official says that China has more discreet and sophisticated ways to gather intelligence on its rivals, such as its network of spy satellite and PLA paper, also said that low cost of using balloon was one of the reasons China should further deploy them. Yeah, this balloon is cost around $334,000. Not that much. But the most important thing is, does it effective? It might be efficient, but not effective. Because it's so limited and it's not steerable. There is no wings, there is no power to expel to the left, to the right, exhale to the right, to the left. There's no jet power that will push it to go up, to go down, nothing like that. So there you go. It's a long. It's got a lot of long report, but they all means nothing. And the most important thing is that now they not unearthed, maybe unwatered this finding from the bottom of the sea, and you see that right there. That's like a scaffolding right there as the infrastructure of this balloon that they collect. and a lot of strings that goes around it, and it's got a plastic on top, I guess, to settle the, like a table to place the computers to capture all the graphic or the picture of whatever underneath, to collect the American infrastructures and defense technologies on the surface, which is not going to be easy with this. This is like all technologies. It's not even high technologies. It's not a high tech. So let's not get it away like any other news that talk about it. All right, thank you for watching. And my voice probably not that good because this I suspect I got a COVID, but I can fight it and I can speak like this. See, that means it doesn't affect me at all. Thank you, and hope we know more about Chinese technologies and whatever the American worry about it, and overvalue of Chinese technology and all that doesn't make sense. So let's be common sense, and we advise Xi Jinping or any communist country to liberate themselves, to liberate their people, so they can creative, so they can think outside of the box of the PLA or the Communist Party in China or in Russia or in Havana, so they can be innovative. But if their brain is hijacked by the propaganda of the Communist Party, they limit into the box. They cannot think outside of the box. So be wise, Xi Jinping. Come on.